Are you thinking about installing AXIS Flight Displays in your airframe? In this video, we'll walk through the display options, explore some of AXIS' most powerful capabilities, and discuss a few important limitations that may vary based on your aircraft and installation. Let's drop into the AXIS Pilot eLearning course to learn more. Understanding the differences between the models is useful if you're trying to decide which ones to install in your airframe, and what panel configuration will work best for you. Knowing what each unit is capable of and how they interface with each other is also essential to operating the AXIS system and taking full advantage of its capabilities. This is true whether you're flying with AXIS in your own airframe or you're a pilot who wants to be prepared to fly a variety of AXIS configurations across multiple airframes. AXIS models come in two different sizes. When measuring the display diagonally from corner to corner, the units can be either 11.6 inches or 8 inches. The 11.6-inch model, the GDU116, comes in the landscape orientation. The 8-inch models are available in two different orientation options. The GDU80L comes in the landscape orientation, and the GDU80P comes in the portrait orientation. All three display models are available as base units, which include an internal WAAS GPS receiver that supports VFR navigation. The GDU116 is also available in two enhanced model options that add more capability: COM and NAVCOM. The COM version adds IFR-capable GPS and communication radio functionality. The NAVCOM version includes those same capabilities and also adds VHF navigation functionality. All AXIS display options include built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth technology. All 5 models are available for certified installations. For experimental aircraft, dedicated base model options are also available. The GDU116 COM and NAVCOM do not have separate experimental versions. Instead, the certified versions of these models may be purchased and installed in experimental airframes. The AXIS system offers next-generation avionics capability. AXIS was designed to integrate flight, engine, communication, navigation, and surveillance functions into a unified ecosystem. It's helpful to think of AXIS as an ecosystem because, when set up properly, you should be capable of viewing and managing all of these functions from any AXIS display. The AXIS Flight Display system is available for experimental, light sport, and Part 23 Class 1 and 2 aircraft. This includes single and twin engine aircraft up to 6,000 pounds gross takeoff weight. Up to 3 11.6-inch displays can be installed in a certified airframe, or up to 4 displays when including an 8-inch display. Up to 6 displays can be installed in an experimental airframe. In all installations, there is a minimum requirement of at least 1 PFD. Certified installs allow for a maximum of 2 PFDs, and experimental installs allow for a maximum of 3. For certified installations that are configured to display EIS data, the pilot side PFD will be required to show the EIS strip at all times. Experimental installations may be set up differently. There is a maximum combination of 2 COM and/or NAVCOM displays allowed for any installation. Additionally, a maximum of 2 certified IFR GPS sources can be configured for the AXIS system. This includes GPS sources coming from an interfacing navigator. One of the benefits of having at least 2 displays installed is the reversionary capability. In the event of a display failure, the system will automatically place one or more of the remaining displays into reversionary mode, showing primary flight information, radio tuning, and, if configured, engine indication data. However, this capability depends heavily on how the system is installed. On some base model configurations, certain functions such as the engine indication system or even primary ADAHRS data may not be available in reversionary mode. This is important because those components provide critical information like aircraft attitude, air data, or engine performance. If they are not available, you'll need to rely on remaining displays or standby instruments for that information. You can verify what data will be available in reversionary mode for your specific configuration by referring to the pilot's guide. For IFR operations, a standby display of attitude, airspeed, and altitude is required. This standby requirement can be met for the AXIS system by retaining the pre-existing analog gauges or by installing a GI275 or G5 as the dedicated standby display. There are 2 AXIS features that really stand out: internal IFR flight planning with seamless flight plan sync and automatic navigation source selection. Let's take a closer look at each one. Because AXIS offers seamless flight plan sync, that means IFR flight planning is built directly into the system, not just external navigators. This means that you can create IFR flight plans or make flight plan changes directly from any of your AXIS displays, regardless of which display you are using. This function applies to both IFR and VFR GPS, as both can support internal flight plans. That includes COM or NAVCOM displays, which have built-in IFR receivers, as well as base units interfaced to supported Garmin navigators. Because the system is fully integrated, these flight plans automatically synchronize across all connected displays. There's no need to manually transfer or re-enter flight plan data. The system keeps everything aligned in real time. This level of integration allows AXIS to manage flight planning across the entire system, instead of relying on a single navigator as the central point of control. There are some important limitations to cover that affect the availability of seamless flight plan sync between the AXIS displays and interfacing navigators. If your AXIS system is interfaced with a legacy navigation unit, such as a GTN 600 and 700 series, or the GNS 400 and 500 series, then flight plan changes made on an AXIS display will not sync to the flight plan on the navigator. Interfacing navigation units that do support seamless flight plan sync across all units are the GTN XI series and Garmin's GPS navigators, including the GPS 175, the GNC 355, and the GNX 375. The same limitation applies to the automatic navigation source selection functionality. Automatic nav source selection means that you no longer need to manually choose your GPS source. With traditional systems, pilots or technicians often need to manually select and manage GPS sources. AXIS simplifies this by automatically selecting the appropriate GPS source based on the current phase of flight and system inputs. This reduces workload and helps maintain a consistent and reliable navigation solution, especially during high workload phases of flight. Say goodbye to GPS 1 or GPS 2. Instead, you'll see FMS as the nav source enunciation on your HSI. FMS stands for Flight Management System, and in this context, it means AXIS is presenting navigation from the active flight plan as a single managed source, rather than it tying to a specific GPS unit. This is the same type of navigation source presentation Garmin integrated flight decks have been using for years. The result is a simpler scan and a clear indication that AXIS is managing navigation based on the active flight plan. Automatic navigation source selection handles GPS sources, but you'll still need to manually select ground-based navigational sources, such as localizer or VOR. Some aircraft models are only approved for VFR operation and will be placarded to make this clear to the pilot. You can also talk to a Garmin dealer for a list of airframes that are only approved for VFR operation. To find the operational limitations for your specific airframe, refer to the Airplane Flight Manual Supplement. The lessons you just watched feature content from the AXIS Pilot eLearning course. To access the full course and explore additional Garmin aviation training resources, visit garmin.com/aviation training.